Hello and welcome to MGP413. I'm Kev, and with me this week there is Sheepdog and Pab. Say hello, boys and Sheepdog.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello! Now Anna this week, she's skiving off. So as I've told these two pre-show, I am this week representing Anna on the podcast and also within our house. So if I have to escape quickly midway through the show, that's why I'm being both mum and dad. I'm basically multi-talented. I'm currently being a mother, a father, and hosting an award-winning podcast. What are you doing?
I'm currently a father and a podcast host, and
Well, seems like you need to grow yourself a pair of breasts, Sheepdog.
I've got them.
Oh, there you go then. You're a mother as well. Problem solved. How are we all on this fine evening?
Yeah, good. I was better, but I was trying to watch WandaVision before it, and all hell broke loose in the house.
Oh, no.
I don't mean I can spoil it for you.
Well, you won't, because I'll kill you. But
How are you going to kill me? You're miles away. What are you going to do, drive here?
Yeah, I'll drive
Really?
across.
You don't even know where I live.
I'll find you.
I'm so tempted to do it now just to see if you can find out where I live. I don't think you can.
I reckon I could figure out ways. I could get on Rightmove and find flats in your area that are for sale, and then go to the houses next door to them all.
That might work.
Probably wouldn't take that long either. I'd look for the right sort of sized townhouses and that kind of thing.
Well, it still feels like it's worth the spoiler. My door's locked. What are you going to do? Break in?
Well, I'll go in next door because I know that one's empty, and I'll break through the wall.
If you can break into next door, surely you could break into this house. I don't understand why you need to add an extra step.
I don't know, really. It just seemed like a good idea. I mean, I could stay in that house, claim squatters' rights, and stop your new neighbours from moving in.
That might work. That might be a good idea, actually.
So, rather than punish you, I'll do you a massive favour that gives you exactly what you want.
In that case, Sheepdog, in this week's WandaVision.
No, I kind of just lost my marbles. I think lockdown, homeschooling, taking a week off. I wish someone had warned me beforehand. It's probably a bad idea to take a week off while everyone's
really?
I mean, if only someone else had the foresight to let you know it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I couldn't have hung on for another 2 weeks. I reckon I'd have been broken at work in 2 weeks if I'd taken it then. But I did give myself a pick-up midweek by buying my new computer, which I'm very excited about. My new PC.
When's it coming? Is it on like a 5-month delay?
I am a bit worried looking at the PC Specialist forum that there are people in there with 90 days on their waiting, but I don't know what a 5800 is. Is that some sort of fancy device?
No idea.
5800.
I know when I ordered my my new one from PC Specialist in July, and bearing in mind this was before the new generation of graphics cards came in, so I was on the tail end of the previous generation because I'm an idiot. But even then, it took about 6 weeks for it to come.
So my dad's build date is the 5th of March for his one, and I ordered that for him probably 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm not expecting to get mine until April at the best. I'm guessing a 5800 is a CPU because I'm buying a 3800. So I don't know, 5's higher than 3. Maybe someone's
Yeah, that is
bought a
right. That is
CPU.
right. That's an AMD.
Cool.
An AMD processor off it.
Oh, you getting the Ryzen fella?
My detective skills are on
that's
fire
what old Kevin's
tonight.
got.
Figured out Kev's address just using Rightmove. I've figured out what a CPU is. I need to give me more
you
crimes.
have got a computer science degree. That second one shouldn't have been that hard.
Yeah, so I mean, it did say to me. I sat there and I was flicking around and I put in the 3060 Ti, and it was like, this is a pre-order. It's going to take a while to turn up. I didn't know the 360 without the Ti on it comes out like now. It's out yesterday, I think. I could have tried getting in a big queue maybe, but somebody told me not to try and time the market, so I just went and bought it.
This means I've got to buy a new PC now. Can't be having you have a better PC than me.
Well, you've got a better
I was hoping
one.
to hold off until the end of the year.
Do you know what? I spoke to my friend. We'd been chatting the other week, and he said that he'd been looking at he has like a PhD in some science or other and is quite well off. And he was like, I put together a PC I was going to buy, and then they said it was going to arrive on a pallet and I'd have to dispose of the pallet myself. So I went back to the drawing board to try and tone it down a bit. And I don't really know what he wants to do with this computer. But when I told him that PC Specialist had a £30 off sale, not a sale, but like there's a YouTuber that they sponsor called Break. And if you put Break in like you would Lelujo, it gives you 30 quid off. And when I told him that, he was like, oh, I'm ordering it now. I don't care. And he's just gone off and ordered a PC because he could save 30 quid. He was like, that's just pushed me over the edge, knowing that I'd got one and he could save that. I said to her I was going to really focus on that £30 when I told Claire how I'd gone over budget by about 200 quid. When I told her, she just went, oh, we can get Domino's for dinner tonight. And I thought, but you know I spent more money than I should have. But she was like, you've saved £30. Let's spend that on pizza.
I mean, you've tapped into proper woman logic there. This is how sales in clothes shops and everything work. You've done this exactly the right way. Don't tell her you've spent £4,000. Tell her you've saved 30 quid. Problem solved.
I do. I was chatting to Pab because people had said to me up the power supply unit. PC Specialist kept saying, knock it down. You know, I'd put it at
Ignore
550.
them. They did the same thing with me. They were wrong.
Okay. I'd put 550 and they were like, you're all right with 450 really. And then someone said to me, go with 650, and it kept going, you really should just move it to 550. And I thought, what is your problem? You're just telling me to knock it down 100 every time. They're like, we don't want to overcharge you. But I think 3 people that kind of, I know them from them messaging me, but I don't know them that well. So when they messaged, I was kind of like, and then a couple of people I sort of know said, so I just said to Pab, what do you reckon? And he was like, I would. And I thought, okay, I can take Pab's advice to the bank. If it's wrong, I can come back and complain at him. I can drive up north and just knock on every house next door to a dentist until I find him. I thought you were shushing me then.
Every dentist in the north of England.
Yeah.
Which, of course, as we know, starts in Stevenage.
And I mean, there's probably only 4. You've seen the British people's teeth. It's, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I've not been anywhere near a dentist for years. I don't believe they still exist. It's a dying trade, Pab. You really need a new career.
I went to a dentist for the first time in a decade last year, and he told me that he was telling me about the grading and the colour grading and everything, and he was like, your teeth are really clean, really healthy. He was like, I'd give the colour, I think it goes from A1, which is perfect.
Did you tell him you drink neat Dr. Pepper syrup? What is he? Was this a real dentist?
It was a bizarre thing because he told me that the colour of my teeth was A3 or A2. It was like so close to the top. I was like, man, that's really annoyed me that I'm that close to greatness. And it was like, I can't remember the exact numbers he'd used.
This is the title of your autobiography, So Close to Greatness.
And he was asking me, for some reason, he was asking me how much I drink. And at the time, I was like, probably like 2 units a week. I know it's gone up in lockdown.
2 units a week? You're such a liar. That's never been true.
That has been true, because I used to not buy it. I never had it in the house. And he was like, you might as well give up. And he spent more of the dentist talk trying to convince me to give up drinking than he did looking at my teeth. So I don't know really what was going on there. But yeah. It made me feel like they're all a big racket when it's literally been over 10 years. I don't think I'd ever been to a dentist like while my kids were alive because it was too expensive. I think we went once. I think when we had my daughter, we were able to go for free. So I quickly went in and he said my teeth were perfect. And I thought, I'll come back in 10 years. And I literally did. And it was all fine. Back onto the computers. A few people told me not to bother with the high performance squirty stuff they put on the coolant or whatever it is. You know, the gel, the thermal paste. It was like £9, and I thought, for £9, I might as well see what this magic
why
paste
would
does.
you take that out for £9? Just, I'll have some thermal paste, please.
Well, everyone said it's literally useless, so I didn't bother. I took off the operating system thinking I will install my own for a tenner off of CD keys. And then when I got to the last screen on the order, it says, you didn't select an operating system. So what we're going to do is we're going to install Windows 10 on it, do all the driver updates and everything, check it works, and then send it to you. And then you can just uninstall Windows and put whatever you want on it. And I thought, well, I'll just get a code for Windows off of CD keys like I was going to, and you've just saved me 2 hours worth of work. So if anyone else is about to take the plunge, that seems like I felt like that was a right result. Finding that out, saving £30 and having Domino's on the same afternoon, I was riding a massive wave of high on Wednesday because it was all coming up Sheepdog. I bought an Elgato as well, a 4K one, because we're apparently getting super duper internet here soon. So I just thought I can stream 4K. It'll be
How do you do that?
You don't want to be streaming 4K.
I don't know how that works.
But you can capture 4K. That's the important thing.
Okay, I don't know what I'm saying really. I'll figure this out. But anyway, the point is, we're supposed to be getting some company are installing up to 10 gig broadband in the area in the next 6 months. They've said, and I was looking at prices because I thought, well, that's surely going to be mental. And somewhere in the UK, they had like several gig for like 45 quid a month. So I'm thinking 10 gigs probably going to be like 80 quid a month or whatever. Not that I'm going to go for that, but I'd go for 1 gig easily any day. I'd go for half that any day, really. But I'm quite excited. It is really, I mean, I found that out last week, but I was thinking about that on the day with the rest of the hire, thinking it's all going to plan. It's all pretty cool.
Excellent. And then they topped the week off by throwing you loads of Pokemon news.
I know.
It's basically been Sheepdog's week.
It has been. That was very surprising. And it's funny because I was chatting to Lewis, who we've mentioned in the past.
Lewis, former Peterborough goalkeeper.
Yeah. The one who Pab knows from his channel. He talks to him a lot of that kind of thing. The one who gave me all the Pokemon I needed to complete the decks earlier in the year. I'd been talking about the fact that I wanted to do... My big plan once this PC arrives is that, and I've got... If I've got internet, I can bloody do it, because I'm slightly worried that I won't yet. Interestingly, what sort of speed do you need to be able to stream well to Twitch?
20 uploads.
Oh, okay.
Not
That should
tons.
be okay. I don't know actually whether mine's 9 or 20 now. Anyway.
9 will probably do it as long as you set the settings appropriately and tell everyone else to stay off the internet while you're doing it. 20 and you'll be laughing. You don't need any more than 20.
Okay, they'll all love me telling them to get off the internet. But I was telling him my big plan was to do, and I was like one which I'd spoken to you all about before. And I thought if I streamed that, people can be involved. It'll be fun. When there's deaths, it'll be emotional. When I catch new stuff, we can have fun naming it. Whatever goes on, it'll just be like a good, it's a good setup for a stream. But then I was like, so I need something that I want to then do videos on the side. And he said to me, well, Pokemon Snap comes out in April, and they're announcing some new games soon. And I was like, and I'll play other stuff that comes out through the year, obviously. And then we both were watching this stream at 3:00 today, and the Pokemon Company have basically just smashed it out of the park by laying it all out for me. As Snap comes out on like the 30th of April, so my PC should be here by then, surely, because that is 80 days, give or take. Surely.
Depends how difficult these graphics cards are to get hold of.
I know, so I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm just hoping. And then I thought I can do my plan of playing those two games and other bits here and there. But then later this year, they're bringing out the Diamond and Pearl remakes, the Gen 4 Pokemon remakes.
Which I am very much looking forward to. I liked the last remake.
This remake is a bit different in style, but it looks good. I love Gen 4. It's perfect.
Do I get to play with my ball again, Sheepdog? All I want to do is play with my ball.
I wonder if that will be compatible. They'll probably do something.
I mean, I used it for all of 3 minutes in the game because it was awkward to use, but still, I just wanted to yell play with my ball.
And then they've said that they're bringing it out later this year, and then in early next year they're bringing out this new Pokemon Legends game, which I'm confused by the internet. I can't remember if I was talking to you guys about it last week, about how being in groups on Reddit and things like that, everyone's just a miserable idiot. I watched that video earlier, saw the Pokemon Legends Arceus clips, and just thought, this looks outstanding. This looks absolutely perfect for a Pokemon game. Like, running around in the wild, catching Pokemon with these old-fashioned balls made out of berries. It's an early professor doing the first Pokedex for that region. Is completely different. It's not even the normal starters from that region. It's 3 random Pokemon that he picked up before he arrived in the region, and he's kind of just giving them out because he's got them on him, and he wants people to go out and do a bit of research for him. He's basically inventing science in that world in this game. So it's set far enough back that there isn't really any kind of science. I've always said that would be a perfect thing to do in Pokemon, because there's loads... I mean, a lot of this is me making expectations up in my head that probably won't get serviced, but all the things like fossil Pokemon in the current games could be different in this game because it's set in the past. We're just resurrecting them from amber or whatever, and it's like, well, they could have hair, feathers, whatever. They could be a completely different colour if you actually saw them when they're alive. The last gen had 4 Pokemon that were made out of fossils, but they've been paired together wrong. So it was like a fish that had legs and stuff like that. They could be in this in the right way round, which would be quite cool. There's just loads of potential for just doing historic stuff with the game, and it's a bit of not an origin story, but it's like a proper story around Arceus, the god of Pokemon, and the origins of a lot of Pokemon. And it was like the lore is kind of that Pokemon created Mew, and then Mew's got the DNA of all the other Pokemon in it, and it's like a whole tree of life type thing. And the fact they're starting off their Legend series with that is very cool. A lot of people were just ranting about how poor the graphics looked. And it's like, well, nobody plays Pokemon for the graphics, for God's sakes. Like, it's been 25 years. None of their games have been graphically attractive. Not one of them. And people were moaning that the frame rate was off. It was like, it was a demo of an unfinished game that they've literally just announced. Like, who cares?
As soon as someone moans about the frame rate on anything, you know they're an idiot. Because
exactly.
Such a wangy thing to moan about.
Yeah, it's like, how do you want to tell a room full of people you have a very low IQ? Just bang on about frame rate. It's So I think I'd seen it announced in the Pokemon Reddit, and everyone was excited and saying this is like Breath of the Wild Pokemon. I'm very up for this. And then the Nintendo Switch group, everyone was like, Pokemon fans just accept anything. They just accept any old trash. They're always happy for rubbish. And it was like, that's not true. This looks outstanding. But I guess
I'm not a Pokemon nerd, and I didn't watch the whole thing. I was mainly interested in the remake one, because the idea of going back through and playing all these games that I never really put the time on the first time around, because the second generation Pokemon games, they would have been, early 2000s, when I was just getting married, just having kids. It was like, I didn't get to sit there playing loads of Pokemon back then, so I've never finished any of these games, so I'm looking forward to playing them all as they come through second time round. So that's the one I'm interested in. But, I'm not a massive Pokemon fan. Like I say, never finished one other than the first remake one and the other one that came out on Switch. And I thought it all looked good. People need to just stop being whingy wang baskets.
It is weird. Just there's no need. Yeah, I get if someone goes, it's not for me. You kind of like, that's fine. I'm not expecting, I'm not expecting them to like everything. And they might be. What I worry is some people might look at a game like Monster Hunter, which is massive and polished and whatever. I tried playing that, and I just felt like it wasn't for me. It didn't feel right to me when I tried to play it. It sounds like
I wouldn't even start something like that, because it just looks far too big and daunting.
Yeah. I
want a nice Pokemon remake game. Thank you very much.
So I feel like they're probably younger people with lots of time on their hands, or older people with lots of time on their hands, or just people. I don't know why I picked
just losers. Just bracket it in. They're just losers. That's it. They're losers with nothing better to do than whinge on Reddit.
Yeah, that bit's true. And it's annoying knowing that, like, I think it looks really good. I look back and just downvoted to hell. And I thought, all I said was, I think it looks really good. I genuinely don't know what else I could have said or how that's offensive. It's very weird. But, I'm very excited. You hit the nail on the head when you were like, I'm not doing a podcast. I'm not having a Sheepdog sit there excited. I thought that was perfect, because I was sat there thinking this looks like they're actually trying more. I feel like they tried plenty in the last gen, but it feels like they've looked at people accusing them of not trying, and they thought, right, sod you, we're really going to knock it out of the park with this. I liked their intro to the video, because, again, people like to say, they don't really try very much, but they basically went, look, this is how it started with this game, and then we invented the frigging trading with this wire, then we invented this thing, and then and God, it went on forever. I was sat there thinking, all right, we get your point. Like, you're very, very innovative. You're very, very cutting edge. You're very, very good at pushing the technology forward. Little bit of me was kind of like, you could probably rein it in a bit and maybe focus on a little bit more lore and story, but if you're into it, you kind of get all that anyway.
The lore and the story is for the 3% who actually care, though. Most people just want to play a fun game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like
care
reading
less about the lore.
I like reading the dex entries and stuff like that.
I've never once read anything like that. I'm just catching the little monsters and then jumping back in the bush.
It just helps you pick up on little things. Like, there's a Pokemon that's basically a candle that feeds off of the life of people around it. And so sometimes you go in a house and it's like this woman's just got 6 of these candles in her living room, and she's just laying on the sofa, and you're thinking, they're actually eating her. And you don't pick up on that unless you know what they do. You just think she's sat in a room full of candles, but actually these candles are sustaining themselves off of her life. And if you came back there in a week, she'd probably be a skeleton. But there's lots of little dark bits like that in it that are quite fun, because if you read it, like, crikey, that balloon Pokemon steals children in the night, and it's like, oh, you probably shouldn't be walking around with that, little kid. There's just loads of bits like that, like subtle little dark things that they throw in there that you go, oh, okay, it's pretty brutal. I don't know. You know, I'm excited that they're trying something extremely new, a prequel game. Which, I mean, I'm slightly worried I should be suing them because when they were talking about how they needed to be reining it in a bit with Sword and Shield, I wrote this thing about how if they wanted to start with a basic game that didn't have all the Pokemon in it, they should have set it in the distant past. And they seem to have decided to do that. So now I might ring up Mr. Okamon and say, "Oi, Paul
Perry,
okay." I was going for a thing there, but give me some money. I've basically written this game for you. I want my cut. Which
in my experience, game developers tend not to pay out in these kind of situations, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I need to stop writing my ideas up on the internet for free and start just making them. Here, like, here, Perry, here's a game I made.
Again, I don't think you're allowed to just make your own version of Pokemon. I think that's frowned on as well.
I think, to be fair, this game that they've announced, somebody did rant that it is very similar to a game that somebody made that they took down because it was a Pokemon game that somebody basically put together. And it is funny thinking that's not the first time I've heard that happen with Pokemon, but then that's probably because they've had the same idea themselves, because they're not stupid, are they? If you spent 6 months already developing something and then some idiot goes and throws up a half-baked version on the internet, you're definitely going to do a takedown on it. But yeah, I mean, interestingly, I found out this week that the Pixelmon, the Minecraft mod, is back up and running apparently, and fully fledged and working. And I need to set that up for Ollie because he was really into that. And then they did like a cease and desist and took it off and got rid of it, and you couldn't get it anywhere unless you kind of found a hacked version. But apparently that's up and running and live, and people are making their own Minecraft Pokemon games. I mean, I didn't find it that good. Minecraft makes me ill, but Ollie loved it, and I don't really get why it's not that different. You could just play the normal games.
Splendid. I haven't played anything at all this week. It's just occurred to me as I'm sat here listening to you waffle on about Pokemon. I have just, because Anna's been on nights, I have that little gap of gaming opportunity I sometimes get after a stream in the evenings and before I go to bed has just disappeared completely, because I've been going to bed early because Anna's on nights. And when I've not been doing that, when I start to think, no, I am going to have a gaming night, and then went and had my COVID jab, and that's like, oh, right, I'm just going to sleep now. And even if I wasn't asleep, I can't really use my mouse arm because I've just had a dead arm for a day and a half. So, yeah, I've done nothing. So I'm just going to sit back and browse Twitter while you two discuss at great lengths all of the games you've played.
Go on, Pat.
Me?
No, I mean, I have played, but it's the frustrating problem I have, as you probably all noticed in the past few weeks, is I'm basically going to the well of games that I've not completed, and so I'm just doing a little bit of Red Dead, or I saw about the news for Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're bringing out the I don't know if to call it Yuffie or Yuffie, because in the game they call it Yuffie, but I've always called it Yuffie. They're bringing out DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I thought I should play a bit more of that. So I did, but I'm nowhere near the end of it, and I found out the bloody DLC is only PS5, and the only way I can get you have basically, if you're you, Pab, and if I was you and I was a big fan of Final Fantasy VII and I bought it on my PS4 and then I wanted to play it on my PS5, because you've got a digital one, is that right?
Yes.
You would have to re-buy the game to get the DLC for free, apparently, because Anna's got the disc version. She can put the disc in, upgrade it for free to the PS5 version, and then spend 20 quid on the Yuffie DLC thing that they've released, which is basically like a story about this ninja character from the game that steals materia. So there is a side story in the original that I'm guessing they're kind of expanding upon, but the idea is it's not the next installment, it's just going to be her story before you meet her and that kind of thing, and then you'll basically crack on, I guess, when part 2 comes out. But I always knew part 2 was going to be on the PS5. I just didn't really expect them to start dripping in new characters, new stories and stuff now. Lots of people I get it, they're probably doing it because they've made the character and everything that it revolves around part 2, and they're making that, and it'd be weird to then try and backfill it into PS4 when they're making it for a PS5 game. But it is disappointing thinking that even if I had the funds now to get a PS4, then they're PS5, sorry, they're just like hen's teeth, aren't they? They're really hard to get hold of. There's probably not that big of a group there to sustain playing it. I don't know what their expectations are, whether they just expect there to be a million people that will buy it or whatever. I don't really know how many people would need to buy it for them to think it was successful.
I've just checked now. It's coming to PS Plus in March.
Yeah, but you don't get the free upgrade to PS5
Yes,
version. Apparently,
it's free, isn't it? Hang on, wait, what?
No, apparently, if you have the game on disc, you get the free upgrade to PS5.
Yes.
If you have a digital version of the game, you do not. I was reading this earlier. People were losing their minds over how
That makes no sense. How's that work?
because they're giving it on, as I say, they're giving it on PS Plus, but they want people to pay for the upgrade if they want it. It's all a bit mad.
That's weird. That'll be ironed out, I imagine. That can't be right.
Possibly. I follow. I've mentioned it before.
Sense.
Mega Ran on Twitter, who did the Final Fantasy VII rap album, Black Materia, which is amazing. I'm sure people have heard me talk about it before. He raps the story of Final Fantasy VII, basically. And he was complaining because he has a digital PS5, or at least he didn't understand how he could do it, and people were telling him he couldn't, and was posting him links showing that it wasn't possible, and people were saying it was coming up on PS Plus soon. I am relieved that this is coming out, because I haven't completed it. And part of the reason I went back to it wasn't just the news. It was that somebody tweeted the other day, or wherever I read it, someone on some platform just dropped this bombshell of, I can't say why because it would spoil the ending, but Final Fantasy VII Remake is the game. There isn't any more to it. That's the game. And I was like, what? That can't be true. And loads of people in the comments were like, yeah, probably. And I was like, that can't be true. They've always said they're going to make more. And then they've obviously announced this. So I wonder whether someone just was trying to bait people. But it made me think, well, I'm going to complete it and find out why this is true. Because I've not got to the end of it, so I don't know. I'm still in that ebb and flow of, I'm not really that bothered. I feel like it's massive and epic and cool, but it doesn't have that little kind of character heart that lures me back into it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The way I don't really know what it is about it. The way they portray some of the characters. I said before, it irritates me how they portray Ares. I've never really found Cloud that good when they voice him and stuff, but the other characters are good. I don't know. I'm just up and down, and I'm on a bit of a at the moment. But I will finish it. I played only a tiny bit of Red Dead. I keep going back to it, but again, just knowing it's so big makes me think, well, unless I'm going to sit here and dedicate an entire afternoon, I'm not going to make any kind of dent on it. I like to think if I spend an evening on something, I'm going to just slash 10% off it or something. But knowing that I'm barely going to get a chink in the armour of it, it puts me off a little bit, but it's all good. I'm trying to think. Oh, and did more board game arena stuff. I mentioned the site last week. I had another evening with my mates. We were playing Papayo. It's like a card game. It was quite fun. Basically just ruining each other by throwing down cards that other people can't put down and stuff like that. There's loads of fun games, and it is very good for a game night with my mates. We keep booking more in. That's probably keeping me a bit sane at the moment. Having that and then doing the podcast with you lot breaks up the week very nicely to stop me going insane. But yeah, that is my week, so you can now fill us in. You've got, 35 minutes of games to talk about now?
Hold the phone. He's not saying anything until he's put an advert in. And actually do it this time, Pab, for goodness sake. We need paying for this nonsense. Thanks, Pab. It was a quality advert. Good work. Would you like to tell us about your video games that you've been playing this week?
So, before the ad, Sheepdog was talking about Final Fantasy VII. I've done some research.
that sounds about right.
I've done some research.
Story checks out there, Pab.
I mean, based on IGN...
Did Pokemon come up as well, Pab? Just out of interest.
Did what? Sorry, Pokemon come up?
Did Pokemon come up as well when Sheepdog was talking before the ad?
Yes.
Just seeing if he went for his full repertoire. He did. Oh,
yes,
excellent. Good.
I'm assuming that after I finish talking, he'll jump back in with Simpsons Tapped Out at some point.
I have been playing that.
See?
Oh, shut up. Let Pab speak.
So based on what IGN's saying, unless something's changed since whatever lunchtime today, those who own Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4 will be able to upgrade and carry their save data over to PS5 version for free. With one exception, PS5 Digital Edition owners can't upgrade their physical PS4 copies to their digital PS5. So in theory, you would get
that makes sense, because how would you expect to be able to do that? How would they?
Yeah, you
There was
can't.
no codes in the boxes.
Can't.
I mean, we knew that going in when we got digital only PS5s.
Yeah. It's the thing of threw me when you said, Sheepdog, that if you digitally owned it on PS4,
yeah, I think I've obviously
couldn't
got slightly wires crossed
get the
there
upgrade
on the
free,
digital bit.
That's criminal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's still pretty harsh that they didn't put codes in or anything in it, really.
No, because I mean, if you want to play your PS4 disc games, you buy a disc-based console.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Persona 5 Royal on disc on the PS4, and I bought it again download on PS5 because I knew that at the start that I wouldn't be able to play my disc version of Persona 5.
What is the price difference between the two, though?
Two consoles?
Like £100, maybe.
Because if you're doing that for two games, you kind of paid the difference.
Yeah, I didn't get the digital only one because of the price difference. I got it because I didn't ever want to have any reason to own a disc, because discs are dumb. I wanted to tell Sony, get rid of discs, they're stupid.
And tell them you did.
Because I've already bought two games that I already owned on disc on PS4. So and I did that on launch day. I went and got FIFA 21 and Persona 5 Royal. So straight away, launch day, boom, there you go. Made up that price difference. Who's laughing now, Sony?
You are a madman, but I understand you're sticking to your principle, a discless world.
Exactly. I have no reason to own discs now. None of my devices have a stupid disc drive on, including my car, because I checked, because someone asked me to check.
Are you behind global warming? Is your plan to raise the Earth's temperature enough to melt the discs, and then you'll just give up and let everyone live again?
Yeah, pretty much. Just discs are stupid. I don't think the zombies are coming, so we don't need projectiles to throw at them. Simple, really.
My mate reminded me that when we were younger, this cinema, foolishly, had a stand where you could help yourself to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of CDs containing the internet. And so we went down there, picked up boxes and boxes of them, and then just saw how far we could throw them. And apparently he's just got these memories of me being just insane at hurling them as far as the eye could see. Because what brought it up was he was playing a game called Blood Bowl, I think it is, and he's got me as the bowling character in his team, and everybody else is other. And he was just like, because of that arm, you were hurling them, and it brought back a rush of memories of we just trashed this whole part of Lakeside Shopping Centre with CDs of the internet. There was internet everywhere. It was all over the place.
Poor old FreeServe. That's why they went out of business, because you threw all their discs.
That bloody cinema, View Cinema, whatever it was, just they didn't think it through. They did not think it through at all. Fools. This
is why children shouldn't be allowed out in public, because they ruin nice things.
That was a nightmare. That was basically the way the rest of the conversation
I mean, you didn't learn as you got over, because I remember when we were down for EGX, when it was still in London a few years back, and we went to the Loaded Bar, and they had some promo discs of stuff on the windowsill in there, and you just help yourself to about 15 of them. It's like, what do you need 15 of those for, Sheepdog?
Wasn't it to give away to people on the podcast, Kevin?
But they didn't have the game on. They were just little promo things. They were like demo discs up in front of a PC. You were like, I'm having these.
There was a game with a sequel coming out, and it was one of the Metro games, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first Metro, I think.
Yeah, and I asked the bloke, and he said we could take some. I'm not a monster.
You're a monster. You always rob discs.
I did once try and take two calendars at uni, and they were like, why do you want two? And I was like,
what happened to Love Film's old discs when they went out of business, Sheepdog?
Well,
you're like a magpie when it comes to anything disc-based.
I'm like the anti-you. You hate discs. I've just gathered them.
Yeah, you're a madman.
People loved that. That's probably that's the sort of thing that I'll never tire of regaling people of that story of how I acquired several thousand games.
I was still, when we moved house a few months ago, I was still finding those discs all over my house. The amount of them that got slung in that skip, just, again, shattering them, because that's what you got to do. I hate discs. But they were everywhere. That's probably why I was so vehemently against getting a disc-based console, because for the last 8 years, any time I moved anything in my house, oh, for God's sake, those discs again. Why is there discs under this? This sofa was here before we got the discs. How did the discs get under it?
I imagine you were swimming in them.
Yeah.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Absolutely.
There was a lot. I mean, I need to figure out a way to top that at some point. I need another company.
When Netflix go out of business, just take their database.
They could just send me their pen drives that they use.
Yeah. You'll need your fancy new internet then.
Just download the whole of Netflix into my house.
Exactly.
And then listeners
and then
could
you
just
can give it away.
get in touch.
Listeners could come round to watch it on your PC. Sheepdog Cinema. This is the future. This is how we lost Bouncy. We lost him to a cinema. Now we're going to lose you the same way.
I'm currently buying in shares of cinemas because I think they're all going to blow when lockdown finishes. It's part of my plan to become a gazillionaire. They're up 10% in the past week. It's all coming together, Kev. I'm going to be rich.
The rest of the world's raiding Bitcoin constantly. Sheepdog's buying a dying industry. Genius.
Oh, I'm going to sell at the high.
Goodness me. Pab,
yes.
were you not talking about video games? You went very off track there, Pab. Can you try and stay on topic, please?
I know.
Just likes proving me wrong. He just couldn't help himself. He had to. I said something off the cuff, and he had to go research it and give the listeners facts.
I'm looking up cinema chains now on my trading app.
It's only Cineworld, to be fair.
We'll see about that.
Okay, so what have we played this week? So I have been playing some. I want to say 6 to 8 hours of Yakuza Like a Dragon. I mentioned it last week that I started it.
I watched you playing this last night for 3 minutes or so.
You did see me playing this. Well, you didn't. You didn't really, did you? You saw more of me doing stretches than I did.
Yeah, I turned up in Pab's stream last night and he was doing dirty dancing. He was basically in the middle of a striptease. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Your stream is filthy. It's just people paying you to dance for them. That's all I saw.
Also, they're not paying me either. They're using the channel points.
God, I need to have a word with you about how all this works.
People,
if you take the channel points away, they'll do it for money as well.
Oh, no, people do.
I got paid £100 to drink a glass of water.
People do.
You got to learn to sell out.
People do pay me money as well. That option's there as well, but... Yeah.
Don't give them a way to do it for free. If they want you to hydrate, they can pay for it. That's for sure.
Sure. Okay. So I've played some more of this. I've played some, like I say, 6 to 8 hours more than last week. Last week I was getting into it, and it was very. It's very kind of like serious. It plays it very serious. Plays it very straight-faced, but it is one of the strangest things I've ever played. Period. Like, bizarre. The scenarios that go on in this game are crazy. So today, for example, I did a job where I was helping a homeless man build a bookshelf. What else
do you want with a bookshelf, Pab?
He was giving it to a small boy.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was a small boy's birthday. There was a small boy that was talking to a homeless man. I came across this, and the homeless man found out it was his birthday, so he wanted to make him something for his birthday. Then found out that the small boy likes reading books, so he said, "Well, let's build him a bookshelf so that he can have somewhere to put these books." Fair enough. At all points, I was concerned as to why the boy was talking to the homeless man in the first place. I have no idea. That doesn't really go into that. What did I do yesterday? Yesterday, I investigated a man urinating into the river. And I had to do that by... You had to basically go down by the river at a certain time, and you would then find 4 guys stood there, look like they're all urinating in the river. They're all just stood there with the backs to you, so you can't see what they're doing, and you have to pretty much pick which one it is. I messed up the first time. Turns out there was a guy fishing. He looked like he was peeing in the river, but he was holding a fishing rod.
Could you not just say, "Lads, is one of you having a wee"?
Well, I went to the guy who was fishing and said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then the other one scarpered. So I had to then run back, to then go away and come back and wait for him to come back again. I caught him. He's called a What is he classed as? Let's call him a pea wizard. Is what he was classified as. He was called a pea wizard. He's not called. Yeah.
A wizard.
Sorry.
A wizard.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah. And that was bizarre. What else did I do? There was a huge mound of rubbish outside a shop, like piles upon piles of rubbish, and it was a pawn shop where you buy and sell goods. And
thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, I didn't want
a service station.
I didn't want people saying it wasn't that kind of pawn. It was a PAWN pawn shop.
For chess players.
Yes, and the guy insisted that it was his stock, and it wasn't trash to be removed. It was his stock. I then convinced him that it was rubbish by giving him a good hiding.
Seems harsh.
Well, he started it.
For what means? So what ends? What were you?
Well, no, he got insulted that I called his stock trash, and he wanted to teach me a lesson. So I went, well, that's not going to happen, mate, and I give him a good hiding. And then he saw the error of his ways, and he cleaned it up. But the strange...
You're a maniac.
What?
You're a maniac.
Well, yeah, but he starts it. I don't start it. Ichiban is not... He's often one to not start a fight, but he will finish him.
Isn't that the lipstick for men off of Friends?
Ichiban? I don't know.
Yeah. Pretty sure it is.
You've seen too much Friends, mate. I wouldn't have.
I didn't make the name up. Dave seems to.
I have two teenage daughters. Friends is always on.
So, the strangest thing I have seen still to this, like last Saturday, I streamed it, and you come across a guy who looks incredibly like a well-to-do guy dressed in a suit. And he's carrying like a can of baby formula, and he's there. You talk to him for a bit, and he's like saying, "Oh, I'm really tired, and my wife's being very mean to me." Or whatever he was doing, he wasn't happy. His wife wasn't happy with him the way he was behaving, or something like that. So,
what are you laughing at, Pab?
Nothing. We're fine. Not laughing at the fact that Kev's just posted a picture.
That is absurd that you definitely remembered the name of that lipstick for men. So
Ichiban is it's also it's like it means something as well in Japanese. It's like number one or something like that. Anyway, so we're talking to this guy, and then we hear crying. We hear like baby crying. And the guy goes, "Oh, that baby sounds like it's in distress." And they were like, "Why don't we give it some of this baby formula?" And they went, "Right, okay, go and get some hot water, and I'll meet you back here." So I go off to a cafe, fetch hot water, and go, "Right, okay, it's in here. I can. It's up here. Let's go up these stairs. So we go up the stairs, and we go in there, and it is 6 dudes dressed in nappies, all just in nappies. Just screaming. To which they took offence of us just barging in, and they started a fight with us. So I had a fight with six like grown men in nappies.
Feels like you need some sort of conflict resolution training.
To which I did give them a good hiding as well. They then saw the errors of the ways, and he's now one of my friends that I can call up if I need assistance at some point, and he'll come down and help me out at some point in a battle.
The baby or the man with the formula?
No, the baby man, the man dressed as a baby.
I was going to say what possible use could you have for a man with formula, but I'm thrown by the baby now.
He was just like the trigger for this quest. He wasn't really involved in it much, to be fair. They then said, "Oh, celebrate with us. Have a drink with us." And I went, "Yeah, all right, okay," not knowing they were just going to go and get more formula and bring me a bottle to drink. And I went, "Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. We're here now. Why not? Okay." And then it cuts to like, "All right, now let's do it properly." And then they kind of stripped me off and put me in a nappy as well.
I'm sure you were very reluctant
Well, no, you don't see that. You don't see that. Kind of fades out, fades to black sort of thing, and you don't really see that. But that is what insinuates is happening. But yeah, that's all played straight faced. Nothing. No like. It's not like tongue in cheek or anything. It's all played for reals, and it's bizarre. And then you've also got this. There's just like it goes like from that extreme to the extreme of where that story of the homeless guy giving the little boy a bookshelf. That story ends. The end of that quest ends with the father of the little boy trying to reconcile with the little boy because the little boy's lost his mother. Basically, his mother's died, and the father is trying his best, but he's not very good at being a single father. And it's just like a dead like somber moment in the game. But like I say, it goes back to it flicks from either end of the spectrum. Did you give him a good
hiding as well?
Sorry?
Did you give him a good hiding as well?
Yes, I did actually. I did give him a good hiding as well because
my wife died in a book avalanche and you bought him a bookshelf.
He took offence because I stepped in while he was abusing this homeless fella for trying to talk to his little kid.
We don't even own books. I don't agree with media. We live in a digital world now. It was
his birthday. It was his birthday, the little boy's, and the father had forgot his own son's birthday.
He had a lot on his plate. His wife's dead.
Yeah, so it's insane. It is an insane game, but I just keep wanting to play it. It's the one game that I just keep wanting to constantly play. Also, the fact of the matter is, for every hour I play of the game, I physically play the game probably about half of that. The rest of the time is watching cutscenes and watching cutscenes and like skipping through, going through dialogue. It's I enjoy it. I do enjoy it a lot. It's really surprised me. I mean, I knew Yakuza were crazy. I knew the Yakuza games were bonkers, but yeah, this game is very good. And I feel, Sheepdog, I really do feel like you would really get a kick out of this game because it's turn-based combat. Oh, there's also like did I say there was a Pokemon element to it? Yeah,
you're collecting the people. Yeah,
so I got given the app, and what you do is when you encounter these random people in the streets, if you've not there's certain different types of people that you find in the street, and then if you haven't got them, it records them, and then you have that data into like your Pokedex sort of thing. One of the new ones I found was a guy that was in his swim trunks with a like a Lilo in the street today. So we got him. He's a new one. I hadn't seen him before. When he attacks at you, when he runs at you, he kind of slips and slides over like someone's running around the pool and they're about to slide over. You run at you like that, and then occasionally they'll slide over on their ass, and they will miss you. But occasionally they'll hit you. You don't know. You never know what you're going to get. It's bonkers, and it, like I say, Sheepdog, I think you would like it. It's also coming out to PS5 next week, from what I've heard. It's not been on PS5 yet. It was out on PS4 at launch, but it was an Xbox Series X exclusive for however many months it was, 3 months, I'm presuming. So, yeah, it is actually coming on PS5 next week. That's it for that one. What else have I played? So, we continue to play Animal Crossing. The Mario update is kind of slowly rolling out. There's a whole new Mario update with Mario-themed items and goods and stuff like that. So that's happening. Slowly but surely. I've got the Mario wallpaper right now, which is pretty cool. I put it in the arcade. The snow has finally gone. The snow is spring has sprung, and it is we're back to having the grass again. So I can now make more progress. I've been making progress on the bazaar. We have a bazaar on my island. I've more or less completed that now, I'd like to say. Now I'm working on my street, like, what is it now? Like a street. That's all I can say, really. I don't know how to explain it. I'm working on my street design, and then I can slowly start moving people back in. That's the next plan. The other thing that I have been playing, and let's just say I've been playing Fortnite again.
Ab.
I've been playing Fortnite again. Sorry, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. They've been doing good things with it. Mandalorian's in it now, Sheepdog. Did you know this?
I'd heard something, but I mean, it just feels like they just skirt from one character to another. It's still the same game, isn't it? Like,
It is, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed just trying to get, because you have to get you start off as the Mandalorian in the new season with just his basic armor set. You don't have any of the Beskar armor. It's all like from the series 1, you know, like very start of the series 1 where he's got just the basic armor. And then you work your way up the battle pass and complete the quests in the battle pass, and you earn pieces of the armor. So I've got two shoulders and one leg right now. I'm close to the fourth leg piece, and then you've got to get the chest piece. And then if you complete the battle pass, you then get Baby Yoda as a backpack.
What good's he going to be?
He's a backpack. Just a backpack. Just a backpack.
Okay.
Yeah, I seriously don't think. I think I started too late to be able to get into that. Realistically, I don't think I'll reach that sort of level. I'm not going to lie, because I don't think there's tons left in this season.
Nerds.
But I've enjoyed what I've been playing in the season. I feel like I don't know what it is this time playing it. I don't know if I'm slightly getting better at it. I'm still getting.
Is Team Kev improving?
I'm still getting carried by a lot. I get carried a lot. I'm not going to lie. I get carried more often than not. But I am getting wins. I won on stream, actually. Not this week. The week before, I forgot to mention. Last week, I won on stream. I'm not going to say I played solo on my own and I won. Now, I'm not going to say that they were all bots. But I feel like some were bots, because people were just running at me and shooting at me. There weren't no building going on, just running at me and shooting.
Isn't that a legit tactic, though?
No, it is a legit tactic if you want to die, which is what happened, because I won. I got 6 kills and I won the game, Sheepdog. That is unheard of. So yeah, we are getting wins, and I'll continue to play. I'm not playing it like I was previously, where I was playing like 2 or 3 hours a night every night. I might do like 1 or 2 nights a week, realistically. A night over at the weekend and 1 night in the week, maybe. That's all I've had time to do, realistically, this time. So, yeah, I will continue to play Fortnite. I tried back in Apex, but because I've got the battle pass. You have to buy the battle pass to get the Mandalorian. I was like, well, I kind of want to do it now. Then I want to work up the battle pass, and I'm like level 44 now, maybe, or something like that, of 100. So I'm moving up pretty quick, but when you do the challenges and you do all the quests that go on in the game, it does like boost you up the battle pass pretty quick. It's got NPCs now as well, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. It has got NPCs in the game now. So there's NPCs that like patrol certain areas that like will just start shooting you. So you can tell if people are nearby. You know, if the NPCs are shooting at people, you know they're shooting at over players. So if you attract the NPCs, you better deal with them pretty quick, else some people are going to know you're there and they're going to come and get you. But there's also NPCs that are like quest givers, so you can get bounties off of them, and you can have bounties put on your head as well. It's random, really, that. But they like kind of quest givers and allow you to like upgrade weapons and stuff like that. So if you have like a green weapon, you have enough gold. You collect gold now as well, which is a currency. And if you have enough gold, you can upgrade a weapon, say, from a green one to a blue one, or a blue one to a purple one, and so on and so forth. And it's kind of like I'm liking that aspect. I've enjoyed this season of it so far. So I'll continue to play it and then see where it takes you into next season. I missed out on like there's Master Chief at the start. I missed out on Kratos. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gutted I missed Kratos, because I probably would have bought Kratos. Do you have to
buy them then?
You have to buy them with V-Bucks. Yeah, there's certain characters. So Kratos came in initially after the Mandalorian, then Master Chief, and then there was There's who else was there? There's been people from Tron. There's been who's the woman I'm thinking of? Alien, Ripley and the xenomorph alien came from Alien this week. There's been so many different ones that there's like just loads of different people they're bringing in from all sorts of different universes. But it's kind of cool this season. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've been playing: Fortnite, Animal Crossing, and Yakuza. That is your lot.
Splendid. Well, I guess we'll wrap the podcast up there then. You did well, Pab. You did
Yeah, we didn't
30 of the 35 minutes we asked for, so that's not too bad. If either me or Sheepdog had bothered to play anything, then we'd have been golden, really. But you've carried an hour's show on your own. Congratulations. I've just realised I've still not sent this Mario game back. I've just noticed on my desk, the one I ordered by mistake last week. Should probably send that back. It was buried under stuff on my desk. Come and tidy
games.
my desk, Pab. For goodness.
Sheepdog's coming around anyway, so he'll do it.
Oh, yeah, Sheepdog, about One Division.
I'm hoping.
Don't worry, listeners. I'll tell him off air. If you want to find out whether or not Sheepdog found my house, the best way you can do that is on social media. You can follow the podcast at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me everywhere on the internet at Lelujo.
You can help me find Kev at RB6K.
Please don't try and find out where I live, you scumbags.
And you can find me at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
And next door to a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
But which dentist?
Exactly.
Ooh. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Thanks for listening, folks.